Hi, I'm Dan, the Heat Pump Business Builder. Now, I've put together a series of videos here that are free and available for you to be able to learn and to start to develop your heat pump business. Now, it covers literally everything from the ground up, from identifying who your perfect future customer is, the niche that you want to operate in, including also your personal core values and the company core values, which will then lead on to the vision and mission for your business. This combined with marketing hints and tips, sales process, all of which will enable you to grow your business up to £1 million+ level. So you may well need a notepad and pen for a load of this stuff, take a load of notes. The key to getting the most out of this is to actually implement the things that you've learned through this series of videos. And if you're not sure, you can always leave a comment below or email me directly and I can answer some specific questions. But for the time being, let's jump straight in and enjoy. I speak to an awful lot of installers, and this is why I've created this program, because the challenges are always the same or a variation on a theme. And probably the best way to explain it is to draw it out for you. And it takes the form in this nice little triangle model. So the first challenge people find, perhaps they've left a job to set up a heat pump business. They're out on their own for the first time, or maybe they're moving from a fairly decent business installing boilers, general plumbing and heating. To move into heat pumps is such a departure away from that, and that we need to put these processes in place, and that's what this whole program is for, is to help you with that. So what we find is, so people do their training, come off their heat pump course, and then they're left just kind of going with the tide, meandering. In other words, they lack direction. And it's not their fault. It's just how it is. And so without that direction, they're waking up on a daily basis, not necessarily knowing what they're going to be doing to make their business any better. They get caught up in the doing a thing rather than actually building their business. So that lack of direction can be a real danger to a mindset and indeed the health of the business as well. The next thing is that they then find that the leads they're getting, they're pretty crap. So they're poor leads. They're either poor leads or they haven't got enough of them. They're people that they're not the right people for them. They want stuff that they don't do, and so as a result they can get drawn off of their path, and they don't convert particularly well, and so all in all it's quite disheartening really when you've got poor leads and not enough of them. The next stage is poor sales. That's naturally what's going to follow poor leads. So lacking direction, poor leads, poor sales, it's not a great place to be. So that's the purpose of this program, which, as I said, is called the Momentum program. So the Momentum program does what it says on the tin, gives your business that momentum, overcomes these issues that you may well be finding yourself right now. How do we do that? Well, where we need to get to is from a lack of direction. We need to have that absolute clarity on which to build our business. And we'll refer to that section as is the success. I always do this, I'm going to run out of space. Foundations. Success foundations on which we're building our business. Makes all the sense in the world. If we're going to build something, we need to have good solid foundations in place, and so that gives us the direction that we need. Next thing we want, instead of poor leads, well, we want hot leads. Pretty straightforward. We want the best possible leads we can get with the right people that are interested and want to buy. So that's not too much to ask. So that's what we're going to be creating. Next thing is, once we've got these leads in, we want an effortless sales process. Effort. Sales. So an effortless sales process, making the whole thing easy. Easy for you and your customer. So that's what this momentum program is about. To give you that direction and put those success foundations in place. To give you hot leads and effortless sales. From that, you can see you will absolutely be gaining momentum in your business. How we do this is we break each of these into 3 further sections. Such as, so within the success foundations, where we begin is we need to establish your true north. Okay, and that phrase of true north comes from the days of the early sailors, before they had GPS or anything like that, where they would use the North Star as their guiding light. You will have heard these types of phrases before. And it didn't matter what was going on, whether they were in the middle of the storms where they didn't even know where they were, they could always find their North Star and it would be their guiding light. So we are going to develop your North Star, your guiding light, your true north, in order to have your guiding principles, your personal ones, your business ones, and also enables you to manage your people using these guiding principles so everyone is on the same page. And if you can imagine that situation, my God, it's like a weight being lifted off you. So that's good stuff. So that is, let's draw out whilst we're here. So, your true north. So that's the first section we're going to do. Once we've got that in place, we then need to create a business success blueprint. Okay, now that's just a flashy way of saying your vision, mission, and strategy. So it's a success blueprint. Okay, so vision, mission, and strategy. The vision is where you want to get to. What's the ultimate goal? The mission is how you're going to get there, and the strategy is the specific individual actions that it's going to take through that mission. So all of that needs to be mapped out, and you can imagine that once you've got that in place, you are going to have absolute clarity in your direction. Okay, so you'll know exactly where you are, where you're going, and what you've got to do to get there. Absolutely fantastic level of clarity. Next stage within this section is our gold mine avatar. Okay, so gold mine avatar. You may or may not be familiar with the term avatar. It's not just a film about blue people. It's a vision of who your perfect future customer is. It's a persona. So you understand all about that type of person. And so if you understand them, you can talk to them. You can say the things that will appeal to them. You'll understand what appeals to them. And on that basis, you can attract them. Okay? So we need to form this gold mine avatar. Why is it a gold mine avatar? It's because the right ones have got the gold. Yeah, and so therefore we want this gold mine. And so we'll create this avatar, and with that we know who we're talking to, what they want, what's important to them. And from that will help us to get along our journey and follow our guiding principles. So that is your success foundation. Once we've got that in place, we can then focus on building your business, but it has to be in place. You can't build something, you know this yourself, you can't build something without decent foundations. It will fall over. Okay, now it's one of the main contributors to businesses going out of business. Is they don't know where they're going, they don't know who their customer is, and everyone's doing crazy stuff because they're not on the same page with regards to the mission and vision and mission side of things. So immensely valuable, very excited to get into that in this first section. Once we've completed this first section, we then move on to hot leads. Okay, what's the best kind of lead to have? Hot lead. So what we need to be doing, I should have done that in blue, never mind, we'll stick with green. First of all, we need to captivate We need to captivate and convert. As simple as ways that we can get our perfect future customers' attention, so we captivate them and get them to raise their hand, in other words, inquire with us. So it's all about talking their language, finding out what's important to them, and that's how we can start putting our marketing message together. Okay. Once we've done that, we then need to start creating some irresistible offers. It's what makes people buy. You know, we've seen the chaos of Black Fridays and such like. Now, whilst that's a discount-led offer, we don't want a discount-led offer. We want something that's of value. So we're going to put together a unique value proposition. It's the thing that we can offer to them that they think, wow, that's what I want. It's got nothing to do with price. It's all about satisfying their desires for what they are in the market for. So we put that offer together. The next stage, this is possibly one of the most important aspects when it comes to sales and marketing. This next stage is follow-up. Mastery. Okay, now follow-up mastery. Being the master of following up. It's as simple as that. You will no doubt have heard this a million times before, where people have got in touch with the tradesman, they either didn't turn up or they never heard from them ever again. True? So that's because they're not following up. They're not on top of their leads. They're getting leads in, they're just falling through the cracks. So we can't allow that to happen. So we're going to make you a master of the follow-up, and it's as simple as we're going to introduce a bit of software which is free, and it's a CRM, which is a customer relationship management program. Okay, we'll clearly go into a lot of detail when we get to that stage, but it's using technology to prevent you from losing leads and then not following up on them. It's something like the average customer actually buys on the 5th or 6th follow-up. Okay, so you let that sink in for a moment. If you're not doing that, you're missing out on so much business. The danger is, of course, is that your competitors, they do the follow-up, yeah, and they end up following up on your customer. Your customer goes, oh yeah, well, I haven't heard from the other bloke, so I may as well go ahead with you. You can't allow that to happen. So we're going to make you the master of the follow-up, which also means if your customers are talking to other companies and they're not following up and you are, you get the business. Okay, so that's why it's so important. It makes a massive difference. With that, we've then got our hot leads section complete. I'm going to move on to effortless sales. Now, a lot of installers that I've spoken to over the years, they will admit, oh, I'm not really a salesman. Great, you don't have to be. The reason being is customers don't like salesmen. We want to do our sales, our effortless sales, in such a way that the customer doesn't feel they're being sold to. No one likes to be sold to, but everyone likes to buy. So we need to do it in that kind of a way where we lead a customer to buy from us. We don't sell to them. So where does that begin? That begins by knowing your customer. Yeah, so you've got to get to know your customer. And I mean actually stood in front of them or over the phone, doesn't make any difference, but it's getting to know them. What's important to them? What are they looking for? Because even though we've got our avatar, the fact remains people are all different. They're still different. They may be similar, but they're still different. So we've got to find out what's important to them. What do they want? What don't they want? You know, what's the one thing that could swing it one way or the other? We need to deep dive into this and find that information, because when they present it to us and they say, oh, you know, this is the be all and end all, it must do this, or this cannot possibly happen, if we then turn around to them and say, well, okay, great, well, if I can do that for you and if I can put your mind at rest on that front, would you be happy to go ahead with me? And they go, well, yeah, absolutely. And it can be as simple as that. So this is why it's really important that we get to know our customer. Next stage is the rapport hack. Who doesn't love a hack? So Rapport hack. What is rapport? Rapport is being in a mutual state. In other words, getting on with one another. It's a flash way of saying getting on with one another. If you're arguing, if you're butting heads, you're not in a state of rapport. Okay, so we've got to be very mindful of that. We need to maintain this state of rapport. If we maintain a state of rapport, they like us. If people like us, they will be inclined to buy from us. People only buy from people they like. Okay, don't upset someone. There's a good chance they'll buy from you. It's basically that. Okay, so we'll go into this rapport hack, how to get into a state of rapport and how to maintain it in order to build trust for them to want to buy from you. Which then brings us on to the final section here, which is the sales success roadmap. Now, this is basically your sales process. Okay, it's a step-by-step process that you follow, and it's very easy. And like I say, it doesn't feel like the customer is being sold to, because basically you're not. You're going to be asking them a load of questions and satisfying their wants, needs and desires. And at the end of it, you're simply going to ask them whether they'd like to go ahead with you. Yeah, there's no harm in asking for an order, but you don't need to push people into doing it. They don't like that, and that will ensure that you don't do that. So, put all that together, what do you end up with? Absolute clarity of direction. You know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're going to achieve it. Okay, you're then going to be generating hot leads with people that you want to talk to, people you want to work with, and people that want to buy from you. Okay, we then are going to see or speak to these people on the phone, whichever works for you, and we're going to get to know them. Yeah, they're going to like us, and ultimately they're going to buy from us. And when we do that over and over and over again, and what we end up with, it's momentum within our business, and we've got you started. You're off the mark. Okay, it's exciting stuff. Now, it is exciting stuff, but you got to do the work. Okay, key boos and groans all over the place. Cue boos and groans. Anyway, you got to do the work. Some of there's a significant amount of work that you got to do there, but you'd expect that because of what we're actually going to achieve here. Now, the point is, the more effort you put in will be directly proportional to the results you get out. If you approach this with a half-assed manner, don't do half of it, guess what? It's not going to work. Okay? If you go all in, you go absolutely to town on this, you've got notepads, diagrams, the lot, guess what? You are going to absolutely nail it. You're going to build momentum in your business. You're going to absolutely wow your mates, friends, family, whatever. Whoever is the people are the people that are looking on at you to see how you're getting on with this new heat pump thing. That potentially are thinking, oh well, it'll probably be flogging boilers again in a couple of weeks. Right, it's those people that we're going to be proving wrong. Okay, but only if you put that effort in, and believe me, you need to do it. So I think pretty clear on that. Now, some of this will be totally clear to you. You'll understand immediately. You'll find it still a bit of work, but you'll find it easy to do. Other bits you might find challenging, and that's okay. And that's the whole point of why this is a program and not just a course. The difference is with a course you're on your own. With a program, you can reach out to us. Okay, if you're stuck with something, get on the Facebook group, put it in there, and there'll be someone there to help you and answer it. It's possible there might even already be a video that answers whatever challenge you're coming up against. If there isn't, please put it in the Facebook group, and perhaps I'll make a video if it's a common issue for people. So the point being is the support is there. It's a two-way street. You put the work in, I put the work in. And together we will build momentum in your business. It's exciting stuff. So let's make a start. I'm going to see you in section 1. Good luck.